Welcome back for another helping of Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. I'm Ross Bolen here, of course, with my buddy Barrett Dudley to bring you the best TV shows and movies weekly in an easily digestible podcast packed with laughs. Barrett, how you doing, player?
Yeah, I'm doing well. You know, and I just these last few episodes, I've been Larry Daviding, and I've just been lecturing people on my viewpoints.
You have been.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to become too much of a misanthrope, or you know, there's going to be barista Barretts in no time. So, you know,
I'll be your Richard Lewis.
There you go.
I'll try to rein you back in with my senility.
Okay.
Is that the word?
Maybe. That sounds right. That sounds like the noun version of
senile.
Yeah, we'll run with it. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. What's going on with Jeff's mouth?
So I'm not sure. It actually looks like it healed a little bit from last episode.
It's varying from episode to episode.
Last episode it was bad.
Right.
And I didn't want to comment on it because I don't know what's
going on. Is it a cancer situation?
It could be.
Huh.
But it's
okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen a single utterance of this. Yeah. I'm just going to use words that I'm not sure if they're real or not the whole episode today.
Utterance, that is definitely one.
My brain is like, it's there.
It's on fire today.
But it's not confident. You know what I'm saying? It's doing its job, but it doesn't have confidence in the job it's doing.
Yeah, senility, the condition of being senile. You nailed it. And utterance, I'm positive on that one.
I fit the bill for this,
You're
though.
Firing on all cylinders.
Crushing. What was I talking about, though?
We were talking about what's going on with Jeff.
Oh, I haven't seen an utterance of this on the internet. My mom is actually the first person who said, what's going on with Jeff's mouth? And I was like, Mom, you're just being mean. And then I was like, what's going on with Jeff's mouth? Like 5 minutes later when I was watching the episode. And then it's really bothering me now because it's the variance from episode to episode. And I'm just wondering if he's good. That's the question. That's all I want to know. Are we good?
Yeah.
Did somebody answer the question for us? Thank you.
I can't do any deep diving right this second, but I feel relatively positive that if I do a little digging on Reddit, I would be able to find out.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if it's because our computers listen to us. I know it's somewhere. It's in the. I put Jeff in GA is as far as I got before the first thing that popped up was Jeff Garland mouth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Google results aren't really giving me anything. That's what I'm saying here.
Yeah. Oh, look. Okay, here's the thing. He's had that growth in his mouth for years. Maybe he's getting it treated or something. There's definitely more and more comments here as of late. Anyway, we don't know. Hope Jeff's fine, though.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. Absolutely.
Is my point. Yeah, today's show, we're going to be discussing The Outsider's 5th episode, as well as Curb's 3rd episode in Season 10, and then a little bit of Masked Singer talk.
Yeah.
Because I've requested it.
Well, you texted me today that we needed to talk Masked Singer.
Yeah.
And I was actually pretty excited.
Because you watched the whole fucking episode.
Because I watched the whole thing, as I think a lot of people did. I'm pretty sure that Fox, that brilliant move from Fox, putting that after the Super Bowl, because I was hook, line, and sinker. I was like, well, now I have to watch this whole thing. I bet that crushed in the ratings.
Because it was intriguing enough to get you to stay.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I can feel that. Okay, It's not that I disagree with that.
You watched almost all the way if you got to the robot.
No, that just went viral on Twitter. So that's the only reason I saw it.
Okay,
I
so
did
you
not
didn't
watch
actually,
the show.
So you did not. All right, should we talk about Masked Singer?
Yeah, you just want to do a Masked Singer right now?
Let's go Masked Singer
right now. Okay,
we'll
do the Masked Singer. If you're not familiar with the Masked Singer, what is it, on Fox?
It's on Fox.
Okay.
It's hosted by Nick Cannon, and the judges are
Robin Thicke,
Jamie
Foxx.
No, he was the guest.
He was a guest. Okay, guest judge.
The other two are the ones that are regulars are Robin Thicke, Jenny McCarthy, Nicole Scherzinger, and Ken Jeong.
Yes. Now, just off the top, I'm like, hey, what does Ken Jeong and Jenny McCarthy know about singing?
They don't. They're just celebrity judges and hosts of The Masked Singer. And that's
very silly.
Yes. We got 6 contestants. They're all in these like super elaborate, very fancy, each one probably costs like $10,000 costumes that are like sort of like mascot costumes.
Yeah.
But a little bit more detailed and not quite as like bulbous looking.
So many people begging me to say it, so I just will. It's almost furry-esque.
Sure. And each one hides the secret identity of a B-list celebrity, basically.
Yes.
Is what we've got going here.
Okay.
And they come out on stage and they sing or do a rap, and some of them are
Do a rap.
Some of them are good singers. Some of them are not good singers.
Okay.
So we've got varying degrees of celebrity and varying degrees of talent.
These costumes are fucking terrifying.
And then the funniest / best / also the worst part of the show is listening to the stupid guesses that the judges make about who they think is under
each costume.
Let me just give you, since you didn't watch, let me tell you.
Please divulge me, because all I've seen are the videos of what turns out to be Lil Wayne's performance.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He's in a robot costume, and
Yeah.
if it hasn't, the light bulb hasn't gone off in your head yet. Lil Wayne, one of the more distinct voices on the planet, would not be shocking to anyone in any volume.
So out of the, they can kind of what they call like throwing their voice a little bit.
Right.
Having said that, out of the 6 performances, Lil Wayne's was the only one that I was like, I think that's Lil Wayne.
Pretty sure that's Wheezy in there.
Pretty sure that's Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Especially given his he sings a Lenny Kravitz song, and
Yes.
because he had that whole rock phase.
Yep. You could
kind
tell.
of
You could
heard
already
that
hear it.
again.
Yep. Dude.
You kind of heard that already.
What was it called? Rebirth?
Rebirth. Yeah, I think that's the
That
one.
was fucking awful.
So, but Nicole Scherzinger, two performances. Here were her 2 guesses for who would be under these costumes.
Okay.
First, she guessed that Jason Momoa was under one, and then she guessed that Zac Efron was under one.
So she's just horny. That's what's going on with her.
Like, we're talking, neither is tippy top. It's not like she guessed Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio.
Sure.
But like
Come on.
big time celebrities. People that are not going on The Masked Singer at this point in their careers.
Okay.
Like no chance. No chance in hell.
But that's what makes Lil Wayne being the robot so shocking, I guess. Because he is not a B-list celebrity.
Yeah, I kind of think he is right now. He has not had a hit in many years.
Dude, his last album was really good. I like this one too. It's okay.
He's gotten like just way overtaken by all of the people that are basically like out there emulating him. But like for the youth
sure.
who is generally listening to all the music and doing all the Spotify
Right.
streaming, they're like they could give 2 shits about Lil Wayne, man.
He's grandpa
it's
at this
all
point.
Smoke Perp and Juice WRLD and
A bunch of dead guys.
yeah,
Wayne
yeah,
lived.
pretty much.
He survived. He almost died multiple times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he did survive. Although I do, based on his music, he does seem to be abusing drugs at an insane frequency.
Yeah.
Again, although, dude, it was like the opposite for me. He's had like a resurgence. I went through a phase where I hated Lil Wayne. I had like completely come off of him. He was too brain dead from the drugs for me. I couldn't handle it anymore. And maybe I've just caught up some. Like, I've done enough drugs now to where more of my brain has died and I enjoy his music again, because the last 2 albums, I'm telling you, I'm back in. So
Wow,
I was
okay.
I was shocked on him being on the show, and they asked him, why you do, basically point blank, like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And he was like, my kids, man.
Yeah. My kids will like
They
it
love.
if I'm
They're
on the
gonna
show.
freak out. I'm the robot. Hi. And then he like left.
Yeah,
because they
he
voted
got-
his ass
but,
off.
Yeah, he got voted off.
He
the
was
one-
awful. It was just like that album. And that's the thing that gave it away, dude. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's why I was so immediate. Like when I
Because you've kind of heard him do that sing-songy, semi-auto-tuned
yes,
Lil Wayne raspy voice before.
he tried to be a punk rocker.
Yeah.
He was already a great punk rapper. He should have just stayed in his lane.
Yeah.
That was a weird move. We got like one good song out of that album for some reason. There was like an Eminem song on there that was badass for some reason. Nobody Knows and No Love was on there. That was a great song. The rest of it was trash. Yeah, but I can't get over how elaborate and insane these costumes are.
Yeah.
Why do furries keep coming up for me the last like month? It's just nonstop.
Yeah, this the Masked Singer debut, post-game, after Super Bowl post-game, it kicked off its 3rd season with 23.73 million viewers.
Well, holy balls, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What other celebs were on there other than Wayne?
So only one gets revealed at a time.
Ah.
Now, one of the things that I have learned after my first viewing of The Masked Singer is I was like, well, you know, while we're watching these people perform, and this is the first time that anybody's seen this, I imagine that if you look on Twitter at the hashtag The Masked Singer, you are going to find out many guesses, lots of which will be right because Twitter and Reddit
Figure these things out.
know all. So I have a fairly good idea of who the rest of the cast is.
What if I told you all you have to do is Google The Masked Singer singers and then click over to images and you can see like a whole bunch of them?
Probably from past seasons.
Oh, I didn't realize this was a thing that had happened before.
Oh, yeah, my friend. This is its 3rd season.
They really stepped up the marketing or something? Like, what the fuck?
They put it after the Super Bowl. Of course it's
Okay,
going to
so
get
they've had Ninja, Terry Bradshaw, Antonio Brown.
T-Pain. I think T-Pain won one year.
Can't tell who this white woman is. I don't know who that is. Somebody that's definitely not an A-lister.
Can't tell from this angle of the photo either.
It's also the costumes. You know, these are outrageous costumes. Anyway.
Yeah.
What did you? Was it fun? At least I don't know. You
It
have
was,
to give
it
some
was
kind
very
of review.
fun. I didn't turn it off.
I was
couldn't compelled.
believe.
I was enjoying following Twitter because every time a new performance would come, I'd
Okay.
refresh and see who Twitter was basically saying, "Hey, that's this person."
Right.
So it was, I don't think I'll probably put it on the DVR. The next
Okay.
episode is coming out tomorrow night, Wednesday night. I'll probably record it just so I have something to throw on at some point.
Now, for the record, the reason I wanted to bring it up was for the clip that went viral of it's the robot, which ends up being Lil Wayne singing, and it's so obviously Lil Wayne, and he's doing the Lenny Kravitz, and then they reveal him, and when you see all the judges react, and they're all like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! This is the craziest moment of my life!" And then Jamie Foxx is like, "You know what? Nope. I'm not going to act like that." He's like, he looks a little shocked, but you can tell he was like, fuck all that noise. I'm not doing the full blown, we don't have any idea. We had no idea. Oh my God, it's so Jamie Foxx would know in a fucking 10 seconds that was Lil Wayne.
All right, so here's why I'm not sure. Because Jamie Foxx, for the other performances, was the only one who was actually making legitimate, possible right answers.
Okay.
Like making accurate guesses.
Okay.
In fact, based on what Twitter was saying, and this is the very first performance, I was like, I kind of know who that is. I'm pretty sure if somebody told me who that was, I'd be like, oh yes, that's who it is. And it's who Jamie Foxx guesses. So skip forward 30 seconds if you don't want to be spoiled. But it's like 99% sure that it's Rob Gronkowski. And Jamie Foxx guesses that it's Rob Gronkowski.
Oh.
Yeah. So he also, there was like kind of a soul singer, somebody that had a lot of soul in her voice, and a couple of the dumbasses down the line like guessed some white ladies. And Jamie Foxx was basically like, there is no way in hell that that's a white lady. And so he like gives a much better guess as to who it is.
What if it's Adele?
It's not Adele.
Okay.
And again, far
Definitely.
too famous.
Yeah.
And he did seem legitimately stunned and like kind of mad at himself for not picking up on that was Lil Wayne.
Ah, okay.
Having said that, it is shocking that between him and Robin Thicke, who I believe has been on a Lil Wayne song as well,
yeah,
that neither would have picked up on that voice.
Tie Me Down, I believe it's called.
And so they all the performers, they do these little packages before their performance where they give clues. And the clues are kind of all over the place.
Tie My Hands.
Very vague.
Okay.
And Lil Wayne's were like pretty obvious. He talked about like, he's like, my life is like something, and then it's the grind. And there was like a little skateboard, big skate, he's always
huge.
been,
Yeah.
And the skateboard like crashes with a fire truck, fireman.
Yeah.
There was a plenty.
Okay.
That then you hear the voice.
Okay.
And then you think about the clues.
Him and Robin Thicke have done like 8 songs together.
And then you're like, okay. So Robin Thicke is actually who I'm guessing maybe knew.
If he didn't, he should be shot. Because they've literally done like 8 songs together.
Jamie Foxx seemed
hit songs.
Jamie Foxx seemed upset with himself for not.
Okay.
He seemed surprised. Genuinely surprised.
The marketing clip they had cut, everyone at the table looks like utterly shocked, and he's just sort of shocked. And I was like, that's so funny because he almost definitely knew.
I do think if maybe Jenny McCarthy, didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
I think that they're surprised, one, because Lil Wayne is a pretty big star for the show to get.
Yeah, for sure.
And 2, the people voted his ass off on night 1.
Yes, which is also very, very funny. Okay, here's the thing. He did just put out an album like literally last week or whatever.
Okay.
So it makes sense for him to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pretend it's not possible his kids aren't huge fans of the show. He might have legitimately done it for that very reason. So, like, maybe they just got lucky and Wayne happened to be a huge fan.
Totally
And
possible.
he was like, I'm going to get my ass voted off, but fuck it, I'm going.
Yeah.
Whatever. That wouldn't shock me. Anyway, just random Twitter thing of a show that I did not even know was in its 3rd season, and now here we are. We've given it like 10 minutes of our time. Wild. Life is crazy. We have to touch on this before we move forward. Another random thing, Barrett, we have to pay you the respect of talking about the new Fast and the Furious trailer.
We do need to have a moment for the Fast and the Furious 9 trailer.
Is it F9?
F9, F and F9.
Why F and F? Is that
Fast and Furious?
So it's literally F and F9. It's not just F9.
I think it's F and F9, but
oh, that's silly.
Colon, tag the Fast Saga.
Fast and Furious 9, F9.
Yeah.
Okay, F9. Yeah, we're good on F9. Or F and F9 if you want to be a psycho about it. But
Okay.
F9 is what I'm seeing
F9,
here.
baby. All right.
Yeah.
So, a lot of insane things happening here in this trailer. For
yes.
one, this is the first trailer I think I've ever seen that is almost 4 minutes long.
Yes. Okay, what song is it in the background? This is going to drive me nuts.
I don't know. It's catchy.
I'm going to pull it up.
There's some jams in there in the back. Oh, well, they start with our sad song, the Paul Walker R.I.P. song, which, by the way, they dropped that during the Kobe tribute.
Right.
Before the Lakers Blazers game.
Yeah.
This past week, in the combination of Kobe death, Paul Walker tribute, Fast and Furious song, had me blubbering like a baby.
That'll do it.
Too painful.
That combo is a lot. For anyone to handle. That's a lot.
Yeah. So I had that going for it, but I don't know. There's a bunch of jams in the trailer. 2 things that I personally want to touch on. One, the franchise is just doing literally whatever they want at this point. They're just retconning the entire series because now, by some miracle, Han is alive.
I don't know how they're doing this.
He was definitely dead, by the way.
They're
definitely dead.
They're bringing back dead characters.
They left no room for Han to be alive. It was a plot device
cut and dry
in movies 6, 7, and 8 that the guy that killed Han became the bad guy.
Yes, it was very real and drove multiple movies.
Yes, yeah.
And now they've said, "Ha-ha, Han is very popular, though."
Right, and this is I'm not mad at it because this is obviously an offering to the true Fast and Furious heads,
like yourself,
such as myself, because we all know that Tokyo Drift is the best one.
Oh, of course.
It's like I love all of the modern. I love the modern era Fast and Furiouses because they are so ridiculous.
Yes,
and we've got Panzer eyes or whatever they are, like flying through buildings in Abu Dhabi. And it's, just inject that shit into my veins. But Tokyo Drift is kind of it's the Fast and Furious heads Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally, everyone says that, yeah. Dude, I'm just excited to get Luda and Tyrese back on the screen together, too.
So, give me Han doing the eating in every scene thing, and then let me get some drift scenes. And that's, what more can I ask for, man?
4 minutes. Han is aged. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out what song this was.
It's like some remix of an electronic track.
Oh, okay. So this 4-minute trailer, you're right. Whole bunch of different jams, ends on like a badass fucking bop. The version I saw maybe during the Super Bowl, whatever song that was, I was about to cry laughing.
Okay.
Like it was so serious. As if it was like you were watching, the final trailer for a saga, a dramatic, like the Bourne Identity or something. I don't know. It was ridiculously serious music over just the most dramatic Vin Diesel shots of like, I used to live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Yes,
and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, yes. And I knew I was in from that line. I was like, it's over for me. But the song was absolutely killing me. And I mean, this franchise
This franchise.
What?
This franchise.
How many does okay, so is F9 is it not is that counting like Hobbs and shit, or is that not included in the count?
So Hobbs and Shaw is a spinoff.
Doesn't count towards the 9.
You will notice that The Rock is not in this movie.
Right. So
Because
he's split off to his own thing.
Like they split off him and Jason Statham for Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, those two
And-
guys were essentially like, we don't need any of these other people. Let's take all of the money over here.
Well, Universal was like, hey, we have one major tentpole franchise. What if I told you
we could
have two?
From the same original tentpole,
So it's
which
like
should have just been one
it's
movie.
it's like when a stock gets too high priced, some stocks will split.
It's split.
And they double the number of shares, and that's basically what Universal did with Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious stock split.
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw.
So I mentioned the car flying through buildings in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said Abu Dhabi at first. It was Dubai.
Oh, wow.
And then obviously in 8 we have I believe 8 is when we get the skydiving cars, and also the racing over like a frozen glacier with a submarine coming up out of the ice and then like shooting torpedoes and rockets and shit.
Oh, that's reasonable.
So you'll notice in this trailer, and this is what really this is doing is begging the question of what they're going to do in Fast 10, which they got to pull out all the stops for that one. They're already pulling out the stops. I don't know what they're going to do for Fast 10.
At some point, we're going outer space. I know that.
Yeah.
We have to.
We're getting on a Tesla rocket.
Yeah.
And going to space in 10 because
Fighting in space.
this one we almost get there because there is a stealth fighter jet that picks up a car falling off of a cliff.
Oh, reasonable.
In the trailer for Fast 9.
Useful.
And again, it's Charlize Theron is flying a stealth bomber, and Magnet picks up a car that flew off a cliff.
Charlize Theron is in this?
Yes.
How many people are in this movie?
No, nobody else has the creativity and the vision of this franchise. They're willing to go. They are willing to go all the way. People sit around in their pitch meetings and they just say the dumbest shit that you can possibly think of, and people are like, "Yes, green light. We can do it. We can make it happen. How much do you think that will cost? $50 million for that one stunt? No problem. Fuck it. Let's do it."
Dude, it's crazy because if you think about the evolution of how we got to where we are now with F9. It really started during the XXX franchise, right? That's where they started doing. They were like, let's just do the dumbest stunts we can think of.
Yeah.
And see if it translates.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel was like, I'm all in. And then they just translated that even further into a bigger thing with a bigger, better story. Because XXX was very strange.
Yes. Yeah.
From a story standpoint. And I say this as someone who sat in a theater and watched it, and I can't explain to you how that came to be. That Ross is dead and gone. But, yeah, dude. What is his net worth, Vin Diesel?
Oh, he's got to be worth $100 million
now. The guy fell into what ended up being the most incredibly lucrative role, maybe in terms of skill set, ever in Hollywood.
And don't forget that he is also getting paid a full salary for being the voice of Groot on Guardians of the Galaxy and now all of the Avengers movies.
$200 million.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But no.
Doesn't he just say, I am Groot?
Your point stands. He took a very limited skill set in just, nobody built a brand like he did.
Man, he really did. Holy mother of God. Anyway, you're going to see this in theaters or what?
Oh, are you kidding me?
I'll go with you.
As soon as Draft House puts out the email that's tickets for Fast 9 are available, Instacop.
Is there not a place we can go watch? Perhaps we can ask Alamo, can they not put you and I in a car? Each of us gets one, maybe? I just want to feel this as real as possible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Okay, moving on. This episode of OCC is brought to you by Felix Gray Glasses. I constantly have my face in a screen from morning to night. Y'all are aware. It's a computer right now, another television over here, one to my left, Barrett's screen in front of me. I'm going to get home and jump on my giant gaming PC and just burn holes in the back of my eyeballs. There is no cutting back on this for me. I can't even tell you that screen time app that tells you how much time you spend staring at your phone. I can't share the number with you. It's too embarrassing.
You should just delete that app off your phone.
I need to. It's frankly, it's it doesn't need to be there because when the scientists find it, when I'm dead and gone, they're going to study that and it's going to make me look terrible. It's too much.
Yeah.
Screen time. And as a result, at the end of every single day, my eyes are fucking tired. I've got a headache. My vision blurs. I'm blind as a bat, so I've got contacts in all day. I end up having trouble sleeping. It sucks, and that's as a result of blue light that's coming through all these screens. So, since I've started wearing Felix Gray blue light glasses, these symptoms have decreased like crazy. It's actually nuts at the end of the day when I take out my contacts and throw these things on. It's like instantaneous relief. Felix Gray launched in 2016 with the singular focus of offering the most effective computer glasses on the market with all the quality of brand name designer frames, and they quickly became the internet's favorite blue light glasses. Felix Gray glasses filter out 90% of high energy blue light and eliminate 99% of harsh glare coming off of screens as well, which is sort of one of the weird things I noticed, like going into wearing Felix Grays. Obviously, I was looking to protect my eyes, looking to combat some of these other symptoms like dry eyes and headaches and blurry vision, but I did not expect the glare thing to be something that I would notice. Noticed it immediately gaming and watching movies. Very strange, but you don't notice the glare on your own home television. It's there. And when you put these on, you're going to notice. It's wild. Unlike other brands who use cheap blue light coatings that are ineffective and can chip or scratch, Felix Gray uses a proprietary blue light technology embedded directly into the lens. They're available in prescription, non-prescription, and readers, so you don't have to be blind as a bat like me. Felix Gray has you covered with optical glasses for work and sleep glasses in the evening that are clinically proven to increase melatonin secretion when worn leading up to bedtime. How about that if you're having trouble sleeping? It just doesn't make sense to me that you would buy glasses from a company whose sole focus isn't making glasses. I trust Felix Gray because they make the best blue light glasses in the game. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/OCC and get a pair of blue light glasses from the pros today. Shipping and returns are totally free. Shipping and returns. Totally free. That's FELIXGRAY glasses.com/OCC. FelixGrayGlasses.com/OCC. Shall we jump into the Outsider?
Let's talk Outsider.
Episode 5.
A little tear liquor. The tear liquor.
The tear drinker.
Tear drinker. The tear drinker.
The old tea leaf drinker. Okay, just to get right into it.
Yeah.
This was a slower one.
It was a slower episode
than I expected.
I still enjoyed it, and
it was still good.
We said from the beginning, like after episode 2, I think, that we were a little bit surprised that this was going to go 10 episodes, because this feels absolutely like something that could have been 8,
wrapped in
maybe
8.
even 6.
Yeah. The pacing, for sure.
So I think I knew that I had a feeling that some of these middle episodes were going to be kind of like slow burns, and so this gave us a little bit, and it did start. Each hour of the show in this kind of this midsection is letting my mind work a little bit towards some possibilities. This also gave us the whole thing, like the Grief Eater seems to be watching. He's choosing these places. Remember how he almost knows where these people are going to end up buried. We got the whole thing about the burial grounds.
Yeah,
and they each have
the barn was close to the graveyard.
Barn looked right at Terry Maitland's grave, and there was a burned out like warehouse or something that looked right into
the
other
place.
Hofstadler's.
Yeah, and Holly was getting all the photographs and having the Maitlands do it as well, or not the Maitlands. What's his name?
Ralph's family.
Ralph, take pictures, because
Anderson,
there are
the
hiding
Andersons.
spots, right? Like they're looking for where this thing could be hiding out near these pockets where it very clearly, sucked in all this grief and misery and sadness.
He's like a peeping Tom, except for instead of looking in on
hot sex,
on sex and people
sexual
changing clothes,
things, it's depression.
He's looking at their private moments.
Yeah, he wants to see you eating ice cream in bed, crying at night, not. You like doggy style.
So that was kind of like the momentum that we had going as far as what
I don't know
what the Grief Eater is all about. The Grief Eater also visits Ralph's wife.
Pretty brazen visit.
Just
standing in the kitchen.
Begs the question, though, why do you think he would visit now you got me going there. Why do you think he would visit Ralph's wife instead of just visiting Ralph?
That is the part of his strategy. Its strategy that is yet to be revealed. I think.
Do you think it's because is it because he
works in
believes
these
that
ways.
the wife is more willing to believe in him?
Yes, probably. Ralph doesn't have the
Ralph
degree
would
of
write it
belief.
off as
right, maybe. Who knows?
Instantly as a dream. Wouldn't
It's also the angles, though. He's looking for ways into these. It's looking for ways into these families to destroy them, right? And to sow more grief so that he can suck it up. So he can suck it up. So maybe she's just, for whatever his purposes are, a better target than Ralph at the moment, or Ralph, as our main character, sort of is more of the end game, right?
Right.
And he's got to go through her. Maybe I don't know. The way it approaches her and sits there. I mean, she looks right into its face and then draws it later on. Well, that was terrifying as hell.
Can I present a quick theory?
Please do, Mike.
Ralph is El Coco.
What? How would that?
Think about it. Think about his reaction to how he arrested Maitland, made a big show out of it, pretty much sealed his death, right?
Okay.
And Ralph was the one who, after his child died, really brought the doom and gloom to that home, to his family.
Right.
I'm just seeing a lot of darkness surrounding Ralph and a lot of darkness that he's causing. And the fact that he's the only one who really is unwilling to believe in any of that
right.
stuff.
He says he has no room
It's
for
so
the
Stephen
inexplainable.
King. Like, he has some kind of connection to this.
Right.
So that's actually where I was going to go next.
And we've
because-
mentioned the connection, like the Babadook comparison. That's very much the way that went to. Yeah. No, it's
because one of the things that I'm finding most interesting right now is because this is 10 episodes, because
Right.
some of these middle ones are a little bit slower.
right.
Like, I know that there's a second twist coming. They've been far too straightforward with this demon devil thing, just like coming after people
Yeah.
and sowing this misery, right?
Sure.
So there has to be something else coming.
Now, see, okay, continue.
Well, so the scenes where Ralph and the wife are like just soaking in their own misery, right? Like, they're gonna get takeout, and then his wife just is like, nah, I'm not eating. I'm laying in bed all day.
After they lost their child, the flashbacks we see. Is that what you're talking about?
That wasn't a flashback.
Oh.
That was current. They're still wallowing in the sadness of their loss.
The part where he's shit-faced?
Yeah.
That was.
I thought that was a flashback.
I thought that was a flashback to when they were grieving their child.
I was confused at first because it seems to follow the scene that we're watching, the domestic scene where she leaves the room, but I believe it's a flashback.
Yeah, because why would she be in the hospital? Because he's visiting her like in a hospital bed when he's all like fucked up, right? Or was that at their house?
No, that's at their house.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but for whatever reason, I took that as a flashback based on, I thought it was showing us like, here's how bad shit got for them, for Ralph and his wife after they lost their kid.
Yeah, it was kind of like the flashback we
because
saw previously.
She comes home from a hard day at work where she keeps noticing the hooded figure. Right. And it's like, let's get takeout. I don't have I don't want to cook.
Right. But
then she goes and lays down.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes in there.
That's why it's confusing. It's totally a flashback.
Yeah, it sets it up so that I totally see
You're
what happened there.
Yeah.
They set it up to where it's like a cool way to go straight into a flashback of a similar situation in that very room.
Because that scene ends and we're zooming out of Ralph's like forehead because he was thinking about it.
Yeah, because we would have noticed if he was just blind ass drunk, like grieving his dick off still, right?
It was kind of like the flashback we got previously where he takes part in that bar fight when he's at the bar.
Yeah, they've given us these little bits and pieces of what Ralph was like, what he looked like unhinged, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Drinking at the bottom. That's what connected it. The bar scene where he's blackout and then gets into the fight.
regardless, they focused on that, and then they focused again on
Yeah.
Ralph, which this one I'm positive was current, where he's laying in the bed again, and his son appears to him and says, "You have to let me go."
Yes.
So the fact that they are focusing on that again in this episode to a larger degree, and they're focusing on, we already know that this thing is like it's more than just like the murder and the terrible things that happen to other people. It's the after effects, right?
Right.
It wants
the lingering.
it wants the tears. It wants the grief. It wants the misery that you feel when bad shit happens in life.
It's not about the child that's taken. It's
Yeah.
way more about the grief that's after the fact.
So that they are definitely, there's definitely something there to Mike's theory. I don't know if I think that Ralph is El Coco, but there's
it gives it
there's,
power.
There's some connection where like Ralph has maybe like brought this on.
Because if it's full blown Ralph is El Coco, then it starts to get weird when you pull on the threads of like, well, Holly's already discovered multiple other instances of El Coco situations.
Yeah, so was he in Dayton? Did he
Right.
go get the truck? Did he go get the van?
But it would make sense if these particular people each had some certain thing about them or their lives that gave El Coco a place to do its thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you guys are saying makes more sense, especially you, Barrett, because I'm overshooting because I got the Watchmen thing right. So.
You have to, dude, Mike, you shoot your shot.
Yeah,
That's
you shoot your shot. You shoot your
Hey,
shot.
I had not considered the direct ties between Ralph and El Coco so much as just the obvious general ties that El Coco's got with each of these victims and their families and whatnot. But no, it's certainly it will play with that element in some way. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, the other thing to wonder about, to try to suss out here, is what is the El Coco. He makes two victims in all of these cases, it would seem. You've got guy that he's controlling with neck pain.
Okay.
And you've got guy he doppelgangs.
Okay.
Right?
Or woman, yeah.
Or woman, yeah. And so, like, what does the one do? How we don't know the ins and outs of like how exactly this process of him kind of taking over these two bodies works.
Right. Still some lack of clarity around the doppelganger versus the actual El Coco versus these hive mind controlled rash havers.
Right.
We don't really know what the deal is. The grandpa that comes in and execution style executes the dad and brother of the chick in prison.
Yes.
Was he a rash victim, or was he just one of the people driven to madness by the grief?
He was the part of the fallout of the grief.
So the only rash victims we've seen are our current cop who's building a lair and now asking if he can get into the investigation. He really wants to be a part of it.
Right.
Not suspicious at all. What the fuck? Asking the guy that's not even on the clock, by the way, to bring him in.
Yeah.
And then we see the dude making the bed.
Yes.
In this one.
He's Hofstadler's rash guy, basically.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So
that's the house that he's making the bed in, and he puts what looks kind of like a hoodie on the bed, honestly.
Okay, so I hadn't been able to figure out why did the damn. I'll be frank, I need to watch this episode again, too, because this one.
It sounds like I need to. I didn't even realize there was a flashback.
Well, it was a confusing flashback. It happens. But, and watch, it's not even going to have been a flashback, and we're all just going to look insane. But I had not figured out, okay, why is this important that we're seeing this dude set this stuff down? She was explaining it as an act of contrition, but I didn't feel what she was trying to explain. It didn't hit me correctly, so I was confused about why they put so much emphasis on this dude and the making of the bed situation.
Yeah,
what the fuck was that?
I don't think we know yet, but
so that's not supposed to be totally clear yet.
No, but the insinuation was that this person ends up having something to do with the horrific acts that the doppelganger ends up committing, I think.
Okay.
They're party to it in some way. Because
wild.
Later, Holly sees that guy before he goes and commits suicide by police, kneeling at Hofstadler's grave and just kind of like muttering that like he fucked him and he fucked me too.
Right.
Presumably talking about El Coco.
Maybe. Right? It was
maybe.
It was weird that he was so specific about it. Like, he fucked him and he fucked me too. And then he like storms off, refuses to
The other thing that I think it's doing is just presenting us with this lead. Like a lead for like Holly and the investigation to follow. Oh, there's a second person involved in these crimes.
Right.
In the El Coco's takeover. What's going to be interesting though is we've got Strip Club Man who seems to maybe be the next doppelganger, because we've got our neck rash guy already in Jack. And this feels like it would be the first time, or maybe not. Maybe we need to follow all the other crimes in the other cities around.
I like these formulas, though, that we got going now.
It would be interesting if it's like passing within this tiny little town.
Right.
Because the connections that we've made so far have been like cross-country, right?
Yeah, bigger.
So...
Hey, did Maitland have a net guy?
We don't... That's what I'm saying. That's the lead.
Yeah.
Who's Maitland's net guy?
Right. Is it the daughter? Because she was seeing...
Yeah, what the fuck? Is there a neck guy out there we don't know about their neck?
Yeah.
They had on turtlenecks every episode? What the fuck, dude? This show's...
But you're right. We still don't even know what's going on with the daughter seeing this, man.
I saw the next time on The Outsider. Or actually, by the way, I don't even know. Was that on? Were the things in the tease just next episode, or was that the rest of the fucking season? Because I was like, it was too much, dude.
Oh yeah, I think that was rest of the season.
Dude, they planted it up like, here, this is next week, bro. Get ready.
It's wild that we have 5 more episodes.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's going to unfold. Look, that guy, the strip club guy, is falling. He's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's
right?
happening. Man's got scratched on camera. We watched it in slow motion. It's only a matter of time, and they show some type of chaos start to break out in that strip club. But it just, dude, the teaser they put was turned. That thing had me fucking terrified, scared for my life. Did we miss anything else here? This shit.
Oh, tell me, why is the police officer that just had the baby and has the what does she have? A birthday party? Is it a birthday party?
Like a celebration of birth.
Sip and see something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is that Jack's partner?
It's got to be, right? Or they've had an affair. One of the two.
It's one of the two, right?
But that's either her partner because she's very intent on him, like paying attention,
coming to the party, paying attention to her,
being a part of her life, and the
cake.
That's always
coming to the party.
Cop partners are always like that. You got to come over. You got to have dinner with my wife. You got to
so they got to be partners, right?
It's got to be that.
Okay.
And we're supposed to be, but they have left enough uncertainty there to where you kind of have yourself like, well, I guess it could be that they're having an affair or something. But no, because she wouldn't be so brazen out front in public, because she's like following him out of her house and like bitching him out in public and stuff. So no, they got to be partners. That being said, I would like to. I mean, the guy's totally lost his shit. He must have already been a mess. What's the first time we see him? He was already a mess, right?
Well, he was already
a drunken asshole.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so that's why some of this has been, people have been less quick to pick up on his shittiness, because he was always shitty. And now he's just being shitty in the forest instead of at the local watering hole or whatever. Oh, man.
Yeah, but that's, I think we just covered
as much as we can.
As much as we can from this past episode.
Indeed. Okay, well.
Got a lot out of it.
On to Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, episode 3 of season 10. This one was strange. It was first of all, it was directed by Cheryl Hines, who plays Larry's wife, ex-wife now, which I don't know if she's directed episodes before.
I had
never noticed that before, if she has. But, Barrett, as you and I sort of touched on in our text message, this ended up being like a Three Stooges homage of an entire episode.
So once Larry chips his tooth,
it really
and then gets with Jeff and
Leon, things just go off the rails.
Things go wildly off the rails, and it is very, very slapstick. When they're all like getting in the car with each other, and they're all like doing the lispy Castilian accent.
Which, by the way, losing as a guy who has had not only chipped teeth, I've lost one of my front teeth into a Kind Bar, which they settled with me out of court. Thank you, Kind Bar. No, they gave me like $500 and then it cost like $10,000 to get the tooth. By the way, don't lose a tooth. It's very expensive. You don't talk like that, is my point.
Yeah.
It was an example of the sort of forced comedy we were talking about before, though, where Larry just basically, he's like, here's the thing. He's at the point in his career where he comes up with some shit and he's like, this is funny as hell to me. And there is nobody in the world that's going to be like, hey, Larry, here's why that doesn't make a ton of sense and maybe we should think about another angle.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. So he just gets to do whatever the fuck he wants, and this was ridiculous.
Let me just say, this episode as a whole very much worked for me.
Oh, I laughed a lot.
Yes, I laughed a ton.
But it was silly as fuck.
Fits of laughter.
Yeah. No, I mean, look,
On this one.
It worked, but for a show that's always ridiculous.
Having said that, the last 7 minutes when it goes full absurdist slapstick
Three
humor
Stooges
felt kind of out of nowhere, and I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't know if it was supposed to be an homage to the Three Stooges, or
played
whether
the
they were
theme
riffing
song.
on like Abbott and Costello or something, or like what this was.
I don't know.
It still was funny, like them walking up to the food and slapping stuff on their plates in this herky jerky manner was still funny, but it was just.
Mike described
No
it
toast.
earlier when we recorded RBP. He asked me if I'd watched it yet, and I said yes, and I actually hadn't. But the point is this: he said it was very cartoonish, this episode.
Yeah,
But it
I
was
mean,
cute.
Larry and Leon and Jeff just going ham on those antics was still funny. It was just, like you said, it was weird.
We got Jeff without a tooth. There's other mouth things going. It's fucking crazy.
This one we got a pretty good, by the way.
We finally got
We got
pretty
reference
good.
to Funkhauser, R.I.P.
He's in China.
Yeah,
No one knows when he's coming back.
right. The actor is dead.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay. He's in China.
But I'm wondering if they're
yes.
going to use that.
That was absolutely a setup. It had to have been.
Are they going to kill Funkhauser on this show?
Probably.
I'm sorry, but that would be one of the funniest things ever.
But-
if they kill a dead guy.
I think they will. They're going to do it in some
You're right,
way
they
that
have to.
that they
That's
think
hilarious.
Bob Einstein would have
Would've
thought was
enjoyed.
funny. Yeah.
They have to. Bob, he was one of the funniest people ever, so I'm sure, yeah.
This one had a lot of Larry, like old men yelling at each other, which I love.
Richard Lewis and him yelling at each other is for some reason one of the most enjoyable things in the whole world to me. I still, just in my head right now, can see the entire scene from, I think, season 2 or 3, maybe, of them fighting each other to get into the jewelry store. Their conflicts are the funniest thing ever, but now Richard Lewis has like an added degree of hilarity because I think he is a little senile. Like, you don't get the feeling he's just like a little confused when they're yelling at each other?
In this season, what I'm reading, and I think is just because of their natural repertoire and just biology, is that Richard Lewis feels older than Larry by like 5-6 years, right?
Well, Richard Lewis, body-wise, probably about 40 years older than Larry, because he was like an alcoholic and
Okay.
yeah, he had some issues. Yeah, he
So
had drug abuse
that's
issues.
what I get. I get that they're both these two old friends that are old dudes, but Richard Lewis is like
He's aged
He's
more.
aged a little more.
Yeah, I don't know if that's intentional. I think Richard's just old as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
it just plays into it because Richard Lewis is probably older, and like you said,
He's mummy-esque.
has maybe been through a little bit more.
Oh,
Life-wise.
certainly what has. Larry David strike you as a blackout drinker?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay.
So he's very, very. I think Larry's probably in incredible shape for his age. He's also very, 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 very wealthy. Richard Lewis does not have Larry David money.
No.
Richard
Correct.
Lewis has Richard Lewis money.
Yeah.
And now, the things that happen to you after alcoholism.
Yeah.
Your body gets older quicker. Don't drink too much, kids.
Everything about the doodle, I loved the doodle stuff. The sweater, the trash can.
I needed the doodle to be the triple S we all know and love, though. Like, why the fuck did he go with that? He should have done the three lines,
three
three lines,
lines.
three lines. We
Yeah,
all know how
yeah.
it's done.
That also would have been good.
The scenes that are killing me the most right now are him and the lawyer.
Okay.
They
yeah.
built that. They
I'm
built
gla-
that well.
I'm glad you brought this up because as I was watching this episode, I made a mental note and I was almost going to forget it. We suspend disbelief on this show a lot
Oh yeah.
because to get Larry into some of these situations, it requires other people also not
Acting rational.
acting rationally and living up to the, societal norms, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I can do that in most places, but if I was Larry, I would have fired that lawyer like 4 years ago. There's no way if I'm Larry David,
Right.
I'm worth $1 billion or whatever,
Right.
that my lawyer gets to talk to me like that lawyer does.
So that's
I'm
like
paying you.
that's like the 15th person he's ever employed in the history of the show, though, where that's always one of the first things I ask myself, like, wouldn't you just fire this person? This person's awful. But they built that conflict from what was one of the worst parts of episode 1, where we were like, the bathroom thing again. This is this has been a bit we've been done already. Like, this is silly. But they built it to enough to where it's literally now it's just hilarious watching this lawyer attempt to navigate the sea of legal trouble that Larry has brought upon him. And this it's mostly like reputation issues, right? And then trying to settle. Also, him presenting him with a piece of paper with settlement numbers on it, and Larry yelling, "Get the fuck out of here," over and over.
Yeah, always good.
Is hysterical to me. I don't know why the lawyer is just suddenly... that guy's face, he just looks so disappointed.
This episode also did the classic Curb like through line really well, which some of the more recent ones don't always like execute.
You gotta have
really
one.
well.
You gotta have
but
it.
But the artificial fruit
was good, yeah.
Like relating to the lawyer, where he got in trouble for eating the apple, and it was Susie's artificial fruit, which he puts in his own home, and then Leon eats it
because he puts it on the kitchen table instead of in the living room,
which leads to it just all. That little thing playing out over the course of the 40-minute episode was really funny and well done.
I would like him to sue his own lawyer. That would be entertaining to me. But yes, the end, my God, did it go all of the way off the rails, like totally shamelessly as well. Any other thoughts on Curb? 3rd episode.
Is that lady dead?
Which lady?
The one that's suing him? His former
in the elevator
assistant
at the end?
I think she's dead.
I think
very
she's
much
dead.
Might be. That was also, look, whatever noise that was he's making over and over while he's debating whether or not to give her the Heimlich, which no one would go at with open hand double breasts. Like, what the hell is it? Why does he keep doing that? He keeps going, and he's making this noise. Dude, it's so stupid. But for some reason, it doesn't matter. It's so funny. Like, Larry's able to do shit on screen that other people would do, and it would be horrendously awkward, hacky, dead silence. But for whatever reason, because it's the way he executes these fucking strange jokes, it works. It's just something special he has. I don't know what it is. It's that Seinfeld angle. He's just a genius comedy person.
Oh, Ted Danson is playing Robert E. Lee in a movie.
Just called Lee.
Called Lee. Which is funny.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Him talking to, it was just a great play on the whole, like, the generation kind of 2 above us have a really hard time, like, wrapping their heads around the whole, like, transgender, non-binary, gender fluidity thing that is going on now and is becoming more and more normal.
Yeah.
So him asking about the penises to Laverne Cox, it was.
I was dying laughing.
It was hysterical.
That was unbelievably funny.
It was so cringeworthy and so relatable, and Laverne plays it so well, and like Larry, it's just, you mentioned he can do this stuff because it's Larry David. Like he's one of very few people that lands these jokes in a funny, kind of biting way.
Even he searches for the line still, because like the examples he throws at Leon for food stuff. Like, I was just waiting for Leon to be like, because of slavery, motherfucker. But he didn't. And it was just like, that was a weird, like, that was an example of where he sort of found the line and touched on it. But he's so fucking old.
Which is part of this whole season, is that he's even older Larry now.
He's older, more disconnected, ridiculous. Like, it's I get it. I mean, it has all worked for me so far, like as you put it. It worked for you. It worked for me. It was just, this was one of the sillier episodes I've ever seen.
It was.
And as I was watching it, I just kept saying to myself, this is so fucking stupid. But then I would be dying laughing in the next scene, and that happened over and over. And have they always been 40 minutes, dude? For some reason in my head, I had it like an Arrested Development sized episodes.
HBO comedies, because there are no commercials, and because they can do whatever they want, because it's not like constricted by any regular network TV bounds.
No regulations.
Or cable TV bounds. They can make episodes any length they want.
It's like us.
Curb Your Enthusiasm has always been like, I think 30 to 35, with the occasional episode that goes longer than 35.
Okay.
But they're never like a full hour long.
Yeah, and most of these they say 40, and then it's like there's like 5 minutes of promotional shit at the front and 5 at the back or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, good stuff so far. Do we have 10 episodes in the season of Curb? Can anybody?
That I do not know.
Surely we do. Don't call me Shirley. Oh, before we leave, The Lighthouse. Remember the other week where I was like, "Hey, I started watching The Lighthouse," or I think I might have said I finished it already. Mm-hmm. And then you started talking about it.
No, you hadn't, because I told you that you should watch that movie
were like,
all in one setting.
Yeah, you were like, "You spill your beans, Tommy."
Oh, yes,
and I was like,
yeah, you didn't.
no, I did not get that reference at all. No, that's at the very end. And
Okay.
so went back and watched The Lighthouse, and I watched it in one sitting.
Okay.
And I watched it from front to back, and man, that is a crazy ass movie. It is very, very good.
Okay.
Very good, but it is not. I mean, it's like it's like you very much see the evolution of this dude as a movie maker. Like, it is a better, more polished vision than The Witch, and it is the acting by these two dudes, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, is horrifying. It's like the Joker level darkness in terms of where you have to put yourself to play this role. The movie is these two men losing their minds in a lighthouse in black and white with a fucking foghorn blaring the entire time, every 10 seconds. I woke up the next day hearing the goddamn foghorn in my head. And so you start to lose your shit as you're watching the movie too. And bro, it takes you on a lovely ride where there are things happening that you don't know if they're real or they're not real. And by the end of the movie, you're just laughing to yourself because you've lost your fucking mind too. It is nuts. But I'm surprised it didn't get more love in for award season.
Yeah, same.
Okay, first, Willem Dafoe. Maybe it's that it doesn't even count because the role is so perfectly for him. Like, nobody could do this role like he did. It's almost like the MVP conversation. Like, what does it mean to you? Is it the most valuable player on a team, or is it like...
Right.
Because nobody could act... He destroyed this role. Absolutely dominated it. His face, the way it works in black and white, is the scariest thing in the world. He just has a weird face, you know?
I also feel like... And maybe I'm wrong about the kind of the history of this, but I think in the modern era especially, and by that I mean like the last 5 to 10 years... I think the Academy and therefore other awards givers as well, they kind of have a weird relationship with the ultra artsy stuff. Like, you want stuff to be, they want stuff to be watchable and critically acclaimed, but also have like
it needs mainstream
some
appeal.
Mainstream success and appeal as well.
At least on a storytelling level, they like it if everybody needs to be able to watch it and know what happened, sort of. Yeah. Even some of the movies that I'm thinking of, like Three Billboards, that was a little more artsy, but it was a very simple, in terms of storytelling, it was very easy to follow and you knew exactly what was happening. It wasn't anything supernatural or insane.
Right.
This movie, you have no fucking clue.
The Lighthouse is, I mean, it's like the definition of an art house flick, right?
Yeah. You literally... The movie starts, they're arriving at the lighthouse, you're there the entire time, the movie ends.
This guy that directed it, we mentioned The Witch. Does this movie have horror elements to it?
Not in the same way that The Witch does. It has more. It's just a different vibe, man.
Yeah.
Even The Witch wasn't it was a horror movie, but it wasn't straight horror that you expected.
Yeah.
It was a very different vibe and angle.
So do you recommend this movie?
Oh yeah, for sure. If you liked The Witch, you will like this more than The Witch. If you like just really masterful performances on a dramatic scale, these guys did that to a degree that you cannot beat. So, and then you get to hear Willem Dafoe go, "Don't spill your beans, Tommy," and that'll stay with you for the rest of your life. And also there's I should mention this: Robert Pattinson masturbating furiously.
Okay.
Many times, not just once. No, that wasn't enough. Because the first time it happens, you go, "Holy shit, this is intense. They really got him to jack it here." And I mean, he's going at it, and they've got the camera at an angle, you can only see his face, but it's for too long. It makes you very uncomfortable. And then Barrett, later in the movie, it happens again.
Okay.
And you go, "Oh, wow."
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so you got that to look forward to.
Let me ask you, switching subjects here, if I may.
Do.
We went highbrow. I'm going to go lowbrow on you.
Okay.
Did you have a favorite Super Bowl commercial?
Oh, man.
While
I
while
did.
you think I'll give you mine.
I did. I tweeted about it, but
my by far biggest winner, best commercial for me was Smart Pot with John Krasinski and Chris Evans and Rachel Dratch doing the Boston accents because
Okay.
all three of them are from the Boston area.
Okay.
But I loved that. John Krasinski, just a tasty snack, that one.
Oh, mine was Google. Made me cry.
Oh, okay.
Sons
yeah,
of
the sad
bitches.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I just tweeted, "Fuck you, Google," and I got 66 retweets. So apparently, everybody else felt the same way. That was right after the commercial. That was a hell of a commercial. But I did not need that during the Super Bowl. I'm trying to watch sports.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on sports. Take my mind out of life. Don't remind me we're all gonna die. What the hell's wrong with you? Christ, Google, intense. The halftime show. Now that it has had time to bake inside of my brain, that was the GOAT. That was the greatest
It was awesome.
of all time to me.
It was
nothing
very
rivaled
good.
that. Britney Spears and Aerosmith was trash compared to that. That was insane.
Do you know? I'm glad that you mentioned Britney Aerosmith because I started a conversation at the house that I was watching it, and I was like, most memorable halftime shows for you guys. Like, what were they? Go.
Yeah.
And that was mine. Is Britney Aerosmith with the half and half jerseys and the whole thing, and people were like,
No, that's one of mine for sure.
They didn't know what I was talking about.
Oh, that's definitely one of mine. But
it was prime Britney in our formative years. We were 14 years old or whatever.
Dude, you know what's wild, Barrett? This
15.
is just now striking me sitting here. Another one of mine is obviously another one of everyone's. Jennifer Lopez, Justin Timberlake, breast exposure.
Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake.
I'm sorry, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, excuse me. I was at your house watching that live.
That's right.
And there was a second TV in the backyard. It was a smaller one.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and the breast gets ripped out. And I go, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, dude, what the fuck? It was a breast. There was a tit. And everyone was like, shut the fuck up, dude. And this is pre-DVR and
right,
shit.
so we couldn't rewind.
So everybody was like, you're a fucking idiot. And then it slowly started to percolate, and I think we eventually figured it out, and I was right. But I just remember being like, no, I swear her boob was just out. I swear. They cut away from it, and nobody believed me at first. And that stuck with me forever. I love that house. Are your parents still in that house?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fuck, that house rules. I need to go back. But yeah, that was, whew. If J-Lo is not on performance-enhancing drugs, I will donate $5,000 to the charity of her choice. She has to prove it with a piss test. There is absolutely no way. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that woman.
What do you think she is on? What could this be?
HGH.
Oh, okay.
Nobody has that much energy, bro. How did she do that?
Yeah.
You know how much older she is? She's fucking 50 years old or some shit.
She is. She's 50, I believe. Shakira's 43.
50. She's Sally O'Malley's age.
50.
That's nuts.
I like to kid. I like to stretch. Did you watch any of JJ Watt on SNL?
No, and I never will.
Okay. Let me tell the Clam fam about some things that they need to be on the lookout for February viewing. Before we go
I thought you were going to tell us about JJ.
No.
Fuck JJ.
It was okay. The athletes are always hit or miss. They've never done anything like this before, most of them. So they're always a little stiff, especially on their first ever hosting gig.
Yeah.
JJ was giving it his all. He was having fun. There were some funny sketches, so it was not, it's fine.
How did he get in there? That seemed like a huge win for him, man.
And Luke Combs was the musical guest.
That's a big win for JJ.
Yeah.
His agent's good.
Yeah. Great job, JJ. Okay, so all month, February, we will be covering Outsider and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Obviously. Let's see. Next week on Patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. Academy Awards breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Much like we did for the Golden Globes.
So it's after the fact. We all watch it, and
Yes.
you and I are going to break it down.
That's right.
Yeah, if you didn't, dude, the Golden Globes recap ended up being one of the more enjoyable hours of conversation Barrett and I have ever had. I didn't know how a award show recap would go.
Yeah.
These are awesome. So get excited about that.
Yes. Lots of good conversation to be had. Yeah, I don't think we have much more to say about nominees and all that. I'm just, we're ready for the show. It's this Sunday.
And it's honestly the most invested I've been in an Academy Awards in terms of my education leading up to it in probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very excited. The Golden Globes, That's what they do. If the Golden Globes go well, it sets me up to be so much more excited for the Oscars.
Yeah.
And this was the Golden Globes this year were, as full Ricky Gervais, man. That was I wish he could just host every award show for the rest of his life.
That'd be great.
Contractually obligated until he dies, but he's not going to do that.
No. Also this Sunday, the final season of Homeland premieres. I will be watching it. I will be reporting back on this podcast.
Y'all don't understand how huge this is. So if you're new here or if you don't know, Barrett and I, we both watched Homeland for the first few seasons, okay? Then I was like, when everybody else did, I was like, fuck this, I'm out. And Barrett stayed.
I did, yeah.
And he has been there the whole time, refused to leave.
That's correct.
For every crying face Carrie scene.
I'm ready for the Dexter becomes a lumberjack moment this year. Yep.
And you deserve that moment, my friend. We all do. Hell, us having listened to you tell me what's going on in that show at this point, I still can't believe it's happening, that it's still going. For those of you who are like, nope, Brody's gone, I'm gone, you made a good decision.
Yeah.
But Barrett's still in the boat.
If you made it a little bit further than that, I'll just tell you, here is why I'm excited, and both excited and dreading. I'm feeling
You're filled with dread.
Filled with dread.
Yeah.
So we all know, obviously, that Carrie continues to just be an awful mom
and cop
and
law enforcement officer, investigator.
Yeah. Just doesn't do anything right except for accidentally stumble into a few right moves here and there, but not worth it at all.
Like not the first
nothing.
4 seasons I watched.
No. This does not work. This does not work for you, Carrie Matheson. Well, Saul looks in the previews of this episode to just be going down on the Carrie ship. And I don't mean that sexually. I mean that he is just right. He is riding for Carrie hard for some unexplainable reason, but he's all in on Carrie again.
Oh, wow.
Despite every single shred of evidence pointing to that being the wrong decision. So we'll see how that goes.
Saul's done that 9 times in the first 5 seasons.
Yeah, but in the more recent seasons, he's kind of been like, enough. He's cut her off at various points, but he's
You mean after directly telling her as her supervisor not to do things for 7 seasons and her doing them anyway, he finally started to punish her. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. We will also have another throwback movie club on Patreon. The theaters, there's just nothing good. It's February, There's
bone dry in there.
There's nothing good in there.
Bone dry.
So we're gonna keep it simple for you. We'll announce the movie very soon.
The throwbacks, by the way, that means that it came out in the past.
Yes. Yeah.
Old.
And available for your viewing pleasure at home.
Yeah, we did The Talented Mr. Ripley as our first one ever. It was fucking hilarious and awesome. You should have enjoyed it. Some of you did.
We will have a end of the month hotline call extravaganza, call about Outsider, call about Curb, call about the movie, call about the Academy Awards.
Whatever you want.
And
that's for the Mollusk Militia only, should add.
Yeah, and then also some shows to just have on your radar that we may or may not talk about. High Fidelity on Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
Which premieres on like the 13th or 14th of February. And then I'm undecided on this one. Are you going to watch this Hunters show?
Okay, people have been tweeting at us all day. The trailer looked gnarly, but I don't know.
It hasn't piqued my interest for some reason.
Whatever it was they showed during the Super Bowl, I remember going, oh, fuck, we're going to have to watch that.
Yeah.
Which is what happens whenever I see a preview for a new great show, I'm like, shit! And I start just like shaving hours off my personal life so that we can fit it into our viewing schedule.
So those are just ones to have on your radar.
I'm going to finish You Season 2, and then I'll probably give a small review of that. Okay. Nobody cares.
All right.
Nobody cares. Nobody's here for that. Nobody cares what I think. I'm still going to do it. I'm serious about that part, but I know nobody cares.
They care. You care.
I care. It's for me. The show's...
You care.
By the way, I dropped out of Homeland when they gave Quinn...
A handicap?
A handicap. I bounced. That was when I was... That was the last season I watched when Quinn was inexplicably stricken handicap by a terrorist situation.
Wait, so did you get Alex Jones' character?
Yes.
Yeah. Civil War. When it's all said and done, I'm gonna remember Carrie Matheson being a psychopath, and I'm gonna remember that dude saying Civil War.
I'm gonna remember. There was one scene in particular in one of the episodes where they're like, Carrie, if you go after this guy, we have to kill you. You can't do it. We will literally snipe you. and then she does it anyway.
That's right.
And I think in the process gets Quinn sniped, in fact. She just nonstop breaks every order handed to her.
She cannot be contained, Ross.
Has she stopped any terrorisms?
She always manages to stumble into stopping a terrorism.
Because remember the first terrorism she stops, there's a terrorism immediately after it that you're almost like, oh, dude, shit.
Kind of ruined it, yeah.
Yeah, just people keep getting blown up.
Yeah.
I don't know. That show, man. That went from a top 3 show on TV to a laughing stock for me in 2 seasons. That's all it took. It was like they couldn't have boggled the Brody character and his downfall worse. Mm-hmm. And then the after effect, they were basically just like, well, we're going to milk this everybody who's here for Carrie's crying face and bad parenting as much as we can.
They did mishandle the Brody story in general. They mishandled that after they decided to keep him alive.
Right.
They did not execute well. But the real nail in the coffin, the true mistake was making Carrie pregnant with Brody's child. Because that has been like in this after season 3 when there is a child involved.
You're dead right, dude.
Because then it is too difficult. Like we can deal with the crazy FBI agent who like is, self-harming basically.
Yeah.
Through her crazy antics and her drinking and her,
also she's actually mentally ill.
In her mental health.
What is she, bipolar?
Bipolar, right?
Yeah.
Like we can deal with that. We can reconcile the fact that this person is,
struggling
a
at
danger
work
to themselves. But goddamn, she's good at her job, isn't she, Ross?
Oh, and she cares.
But then she is also like the worst mother to ever be portrayed on television, and
that's problematic.
That's the shark has been jumped at that point.
They gave her the kid, and they were like, "This was a fucking great idea. Oh my god, the legacy of Brody. It's a ginger baby. Like this is hilarious. This is gonna fucking perfect." And then like 20 minutes later, they were like, "Oh shit, we gave her a kid."
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure out how to make that play. So for like for the 2 seasons I watched where she's got the kid anyway, I think I watched 2 full seasons with her as a mother. The kid is there very minimally. They find weird ways to like give excuses for why she's not with the kid, or like at one point the kid gets taken away. It almost gets a little Homelandy with the kid. I mean, not a little. This is Homeland that we're discussing.
Home Alone-y?
Currently, no, a
the
little
kid has to like
Handmaid's
fight off
Tale-y,
some. Okay,
where it's like
some house invaders.
Are you fucking with us with this kid? You get the kids in Canada. You get the kid back from Canada. What's going on with this kid? That's with her kid. I started to feel that way, and then suddenly it was way bigger. One year, I remember being like, "Whoa,
yeah,
that's a gigantic fucking baby."
Yeah,
and then I bowed out.
Yeah,
because they gave Quinn a handicap, and then everything was just nonsense from there. It was they fucked this shit up worse than Dexter, because at least Dexter got 4 seasons in before it started to get weird, and then they turned him into a lumberjack.
Yeah.
Do they kill Carrie? Is that how this ends? Can you end this show with her alive, just knowing she's out there making horrible decisions?
I think that so my guess is yes. I think Carrie dies. Option kind of 1B is that they do the kind of like Dark Knight Rises thing.
She's the watchful protector. She's just out there.
Where she's just like,
Jason
maybe
Bourne.
she's dead.
She's on a
but
fucking
we're
island.
not totally sure. And then we see Saul, and he's in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. To bring it full circle. Yeah.
And he's having his
he's got a hat,
his espresso,
straw hat,
and he looks over, and she's famous for wearing the going dark wig and the and the heat,
the burqa,
the burqa. Thank you,
burqa.
Over her hair, and he catches a glance of her like walking through a market, and he thinks it's Carrie.
Yeah,
but who could say?
And then the credits roll.
Yeah,
I hope it's not that, because that would be actually probably good. You should have been in charge of the show. They would have done a better job if you had been in charge. They should have just let you take tropes from Batman movies and plug them in.
Yeah, people have been saying that.
Because that's a lot better than whatever they're going to throw at you. I guarantee that shit. I hope it's a flash forward and her kid murders her for being such a terrible mom.
What if she wakes up and it was all a dream?
And she's in Brody serving her breakfast in bed. Dude, do they at least touch on like political hot stuff and like things that matter?
Yes, to be completely honest, and I think I've said this before, but the reason why I've stuck with this show is because it's still the only show that like tickles that geopolitical bone that deals with all this like super weird but relevant, heavy like
international
international terrorism and geopolitical like just wildness that goes on.
Now, if you never watched season 1 of Homeland, go watch it.
There's been Russia stuff. There's been they
okay, so they're getting into all that.
They're unbelievably able to like basically predict the future.
There were definitely seasons where I was like, "Holy shit, they're crushing it in terms of predicting where we're going to be."
So
at.
they've done that with. Watch this season have a lot to do with Iran.
Okay, that wouldn't shock you.
It would not shock me because they're always.
They have managed to every time. They seem to be ahead of the curve and like know where the sort of terrorism stuff is going to head, so that they have a finger on it. Yeah.
But it's still the like the only show I've found that touches on that in a really like compelling and interesting way.
Okay. It just happens to have derailed with
you
its
just
main
have
character.
to deal with the main character
being trash.
being on the show. Yeah.
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 Oh, Carrie. Still just crying and lying and refusing to take her goddamn meds.
That's right.
And running around disobeying orders. But
All of the
Barrett,
above.
she's doing it for her country.
That's right.
And for her kid that she never sees. Ever. All right, we're out of here. That will do it for today. What, you got something else?
No, that's it.
That will do it for today's episode of OCC. Huge thanks to our sponsor, Felix Gray. Go to felixgrayglasses.com/OCC to support the show. You can also support us directly and receive so much more OCC each month by going to patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles, as Barrett has mentioned. Ad-free, might I add, on Patreon. No ads in those episodes. Patreon.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. Follow us on social media for updates on the best in TV and film. We're on Instagram at Oysters, Clams, Cockles, on Twitter at Clams and Cockles, and we're on Facebook.com/Oysters, Clams, Cockles. You can follow me, Ross Bolen, at WRBolen, at WRBOLEN on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And you can listen to my voice on the Ross Bolen podcast, available wherever OCC is available, as well as Freeze All Motor Functions, available wherever OCC is available. And again, for those of you who are Westworld fans, we're going to be covering Westworld here in more general conversation, Barrett and I, a la the way we do Curb, probably, sort of. And then on Freeze All Motor Functions, Jared will still continue to be doing his crazy deep dive analytical 5 hours of notes, no sleep, psycho shit, and I just show up and ask questions. It's awesome. If you're confused by Westworld, as you should be, then that podcast will help you. Barrett, where can we follow you on social media and hear more of your voice?
Yes, follow me at Barrett Dudley, 2 R's, 2 T's on Instagram and Twitter. And then check out the Club Cool podcast, where we meet at the intersection of style and pop culture, available wherever you're listening to this one.
Do it. Do it. Mike, tell us about your other shows and your social medias.
Oh, you can find me at Mike Moody on Twitter. If you like Star Trek, my new Star Trek podcast, well, it's been going for 3 years.
They're covering Picard, though, right?
We're covering Picard now, because Picard is back.
Where is it? How do you watch it?
CBS All Access. It's an app.
Have there been
CBS app.
one episode?
2 episods.
2 episodes.
Yeah, third one this Thursday.
What do you think so far?
Picard old, but still hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of getting the plot going.
Yeah.
The first couple episodes, but the trailers for the next few look pretty hot.
Dude, Patrick Stewart as Picard, for some reason, holds like a very special place in my head when I was a little kid. My dad watched Star Trek all the time. He's a huge Trekkie. But there's something about him in particular, and I think it's because then he transitioned to Professor X too, didn't he?
Yeah.
So that he just has like that place of esteem.
He's both
in my brain.
Yeah, this Picard show is a lot like Logan.
Transition to
tone.
Professor
X. I heard that.
The tone of Logan. So yeah, we're covering that on Star Trek Pod at Star Trek Pod.
Yeah, they really, really ripped the Logan tone for the old Picard poster, which is just like it's like Patrick
sepia
Stewart.
toned. Yep.
He's like standing in a fucking cornfield that's been mowed and with a
Picard,
dog.
It is going to take quite a bit to get me to bite on CBS All Access.
Mm-hmm.
Picard has been the closest show to do it so far. Not quite there.
Didn't I go in for somebody for something?
You went on for
Zone?
Jordan Peele.
Twilight Zone.
Zone.
I got the fuck out of there as quickly as I could.
It's not great.
It was not good. Not good, Mike. What the hell, Jordan Peele?
I also might
I get it.
Might be canceling Disney Plus until more Mandalorian. I've not been watching anything on there.
And they pushed back Obi-Wan.
I had a
that's
news
right.
bulletin. Mandalorian is coming October 2020.
There you go. Yeah.
The new episode of Disney's Mandalorian. Also, they have cited 26.5 million subscriptions so far, which is apparently good. Seems like a lot. I've been watching all kinds of shit on there. You should smoke more weed and watch more movies from the 70s.
Couldn't be me.
That's what I do. All right. Where was I? That's it. No, that is definitely it. We don't have anything else to say.
That is it.
There's nothing for me to read on my teleprompter.
We've
Ron
run out of
Burgundy.
notes.
I have nothing here. I don't know what to do with my hands until our next helping. Adios, muchachos.
Bye.